Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. And good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for this 18th day of February 2021. We are playing games from June 11th, Saturday, June 11th, 1949, and this may be one of the biggest surprises of all time. It's the 1949 Washington Senators who lost 100 games in real life. Well, they could conceivably still lose 100 games. Let's be realistic here, but probably they will not. They are in first place in the American League. They are 32-19. They lead the New York Yankees. They lead everybody else for that matter. But this is kind of a stunning result for the first 51 games and change. A lot can happen over the last 100, but Washington right now has a positive run differential and is in the driver's seat. Walt Masterson is on the hill for them today. The Tigers, they were the darlings of April. May and June, not so much. They're a 500 club right now. Fred Hutchinson is on the hill for the Tigers on this beautiful day in Corktown. 77 degrees, winds blowing from left to right. It's almost summer. Can you feel it? As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Baseball Replay 1949. Today from Briggs Stadium in Detroit, Michigan, it is the Detroit Tigers and the Washington Senators. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, not all one word, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. And so, yes, we can is what I'm seeing in the chat. So, the Sens are 32-19. The Tigers are 26-25. Fred Hutchinson trying to keep the Tigers over 500. He's 29 years old. Fastball pitcher 85 and a fly ball pitcher. This is start number 8 for Hutch, and the Reds are already asking if he can manage. His last start came against the Red Sox on June 4th. 9 innings, 9 hits, 3 runs, all earned. He walked 2 and struck out 1. In 65 2/3 innings, he allowed 70 hits, 8 homers, 31 runs, 25 earned, 19 walks, 17 strikeouts. And we are being told that the Senators were in third place on this date in 1949, just 5 games out of first. The sim isn't just the Senators overachieving, but the Yankees and Indians underachieving. Especially, and if you're wondering about the Red Sox, they are about where they should be. So it'll be interesting to see what happens going down the stretch. Lineup today for the Senators. Gil Cohen leads off in left field. Robertson at third will bat second. Stewart in right will hit third. Vollmer in center cleans up. Eddie Robinson at first will bat fifth. Kozar at second, bat sixth. A good snowy afternoon from Cleveland. Yeah, but they were, 7.5, 8 out of first place, right? Dente, nothing to do with Pasta, will play short and bat seventh. Evans is catching and is batting 8th, and Masterson on the mound will bat 9th as I get my phone back because the groceries are here. Yay! The wife looks so happy. And she sounds it, too. 4.5 back. The Red Sox are playing better as of late. Defensively for the Tigers, it'll be Evers in left, a 9 and a 6. Johnny Groth in center, a 7 and 7. Vic Wertz in right, a 7 and 7. You know what my Facebook ad was when I went on a few minutes ago? Seagram 7 and 7. George Cal is a 6 at third. Johnny Lippin a 6 at short. Don Calloway a 4 at second. And Campbell is a 3 at first. I was singing that last night, Jamie. Joe Hardy is not in the lineup, but you do gotta have heart. Aaron Robinson behind the plate. He's a 6 and a 6. And Mr. Hutchinson is an 8 with a 983 fielding percentage. Cohen, 273, 4 homers, and 27 RBI. No, we didn't need to get Drunken Donuts coffee this time around. That's what I'm drinking now, except for she made it at home. Shoeless Joe from Hannibal Mo. Yep. So we're ready. Hutchinson deals, and there's a line drive to Callaway, and that's how this one starts. One out. It's Sherry Robertson. Sherry Baby. You can all sing Frankie Valli to yourselves. 308, 4 homers, and 27 RBI. Whatever Sarah wants, Sarah gets. There. You happy? You happy I sang? Pitch to Robertson is a fly ball left field. Evers in the corner makes the catch for the second out. It's Bud Stewart. That's right, Todd B. The only song you sing is Who Can Hit a Righty, but you do it to the tune of Mellow Yellow. Bud at 277, 3 homers, and 23 RBI. I am the East Coast distributor of happiness. It sounds like I'm about to do a whole series of Breaking Bad, right? Better Call Saul. Pitch to Stewart is a fly ball to right. Wirtz will track that one down, and that will retire the side. Senators go down in order. Well, mine is like Milli Vanilli. The real ones, not the ones that actually sang for him. No runs, no hits, no errors. Half an inning in the books. Sends nothing. Here come the Tigers. And one of the reasons why the Senators are overperforming is Bullfrog. Walt Masterson, 29 years old. He is 6-1 on the year with a 1.79 ERA. He's gone by June 13th. I wonder what it was that caused him to go, because in all honesty, you wouldn't trade anybody who was treating you as an ace. His last appearance was against the White Sox on June 14th. 8 2/3 innings, 7 hits. A run it was earned. He walked 2 and struck out 6. So in 70 1/3 innings, he's allowed 42 hits, 3 homers, 17 runs, 14 earned. He has walked 35 and struck out 19. He has 2 starts against the Tigers and no decisions. Yeah, that's not Bat Masterson. In 2 games, 16 innings, 6 hits, a run, 1-0, 6 walks and 2 strikeouts. He is a fastball pitcher and a standard pitcher at 85. The lineup he'll face: Don Callaway leads off for the Tigers. Paul Campbell at first will bat second. George Kell at third will bat third. Vic Wirtz, who's been told to stay out of the Polo Grounds or else bad things happen, is in right. He'll clean it up. Evers in left will bat fifth. Aaron Robinson behind the plate will bat sixth. Johnny Groth in center goes seventh. Mr. Lippin at short will bat eighth. And Hutchinson, who threw 11 pitches in the top of the first, will bat ninth. Defensively for the Senators, Cone a 5 and a 6 in left. Vollmer a 7 and a 3 in center. Oh, it's a Red Sox trade. So the Senators will be getting Mickey Harris and Sam Mealy for Masterson. You mean maybe the Red Sox will get some badly needed help? Stewart a 5 and a 9 in right. Sherry Robertson, Sherry Baby, is a 5 at third. Al Dente is a 7 at short. Kozar a 3 at second. Robinson an 8 at first. Evans a 2 and a 5 behind the plate. And Masterson is a 2. I'm being told that Masterson wanted to go to a team with more offense, and the Yankees and Red Sox wanted him for years, understandingly so. Masterson had an appendectomy that April. Wow. No 10-day IR for you. Callaway at 261, no homers and 10 RBI. There's a base hit in the left center field. So, Boston Globe says, according to Big Clue, and I'm not surprised at this, the Sox were morally obliged to upgrade their pitching with the trade. I bet they were. Here's Paul Campbell, 336, no homers and 20 RBI. You blamed those people for turning the Hall of Fame into a church. And I do think they are why am I having trouble reading that one? Morally obliged to fire Dan Shaughnessy, the curly-haired boy. Pitch to Campbell is a ground ball to first. Robinson takes it to the bag himself, and that is an out. Callaway goes to second. Dan Shaughnessy draws such endearment from Boston fans that the reclusive Red Sox message board, Sons of Sam Horn, they have a media board. And their tagline for Shaughnessy is taking a poop in your mouth one column at a time. That's a euphemism. Yeah, I'm slurring my words. Why would Sarah check the coffee she made? She's the one that did it. Here's George Kell, 348, 11 doubles, and 31 RBI. Masterson deals, ball 4. So first walk, Masterson has walked 36 now on the replay and struck out 19. So here's Wirtz, Vick at 315, 4 homers, and 39 RBI. Snap throw to first, and Kell is gone. So Evans hurled it down to Robinson, and it goes 2-3 on the pickoff. So 2 out for Wirtz and a 1-0 count. Here's the pitch, and there's a liner in the left field. That will drop in front of Cone. Callaway will round third and score, and the Tigers are up 1-0. And now I'll bring up Hoot Evers at 308. 4 homers and 30 RBI. Well, that would be the spirit of 76 if I was possessed by the spirit of Dave Gardner. And Hoot looks like he's just came out of a pair of overalls out of a farm field, doesn't he? And throw to first, and Wirtz is back. I wasn't even thinking that. Pitch to Evers. There's a ground ball to third. Robertson goes to Kozar, and that will retire the side. So, 1 run on 2 hits and no errors. We've played 1-0 Tigers. Todd B. actually had Thurman Munson thrown out at first the other night on a single to right field. In action PC or Strat? Wow. Clyde Vollmer, Sherry Robinson, and not Bernie Kozar do up for the Sens here in the second. Dave was a goalie playing hockey in high school. Anyway, action PC, wow. Vollmer at 246, 8 homers and 26 RBI. Pitch to Vollmer is a ground ball to Lippin, deep in the hole, long throw to first, and Vollmer beat it out. So the second hit for the Tigers, or for the first hit, rather, for Washington. Yep, that's why we stream it, because it is more fun during the game. Going to first. Wow, I've never seen that before. Yankee Stadium, or where were you playing? Here's Robinson, 289. Eddie's got 9 homers and 41 RBI. Hutchinson from the stretch. Up the middle, Callaway's only play is to first, and Robinson is retired. So Vollmer moves to second for Al Kozar. 268, a homer, and 14 RBI. Hutchinson deals. Ball 4. So first and second, 1 out for Sam Denty. I've never seen that. I think you'd have a... What year, Munson, were you playing? I mean, that is... I've never seen that. Sam at 311. No homers, 14 doubles, and 16 RBI. 70-70. Wow. I've done it in one of the video games. There was one of the EA triple play games that you had that short minor league field, and you could throw out a slow runner at first. And he wasn't that slow in 78. Wow. Pitch to Dente is a ground ball to third. Cal Callaway for 1 over to Campbell, and they're going to go around the horn. So 5-4-3. Kozar with the roll block slide, but Callaway threw the ball in the air. No runs, a hit, no errors, 1 left, inning and a half down, 1-0 Tigers. So Robinson, Groth, and Lippin. Aaron at 273, 3 homers and 19 RBI. Popped up left side and deep. Dente, Cone, and Robertson go out there, and nobody can catch it. That got stuck in no man's land. And Robinson will take the single. And again, here's the winner of the 1949 now Red Sox fan lookalike contest in Johnny Groth. 294, 7 homers, and 34 RBI for Groth. Into center field, Vollmer coming in, and it's going to be, no, that's off the wall. Groth will hold at second, Robinson around third. Red Wolf will send him home, and it's 2-0 Detroit. The throw goes in the infield. So Groth with an RBI double. And that'll bring up Johnny Lippin at 286, 3 triples, a homer, and 32 RBI. Yeah, once you get past that this is a closed engine, it is fun to see what happened and not know ahead of time. I mean, the chalkboard will give some stuff away. We've talked about that. But you can trust the results that this game is going to give you. There's enough variance in standings and players' performances that it's not all chapter and verse. Got spring training on TV in the other room. Is it my imagination? No, he is kind of chubby. Hun Jin Ryu. Pitch to Lippin. Got him. An 0-2 change for strike 3. So I'll bring up Hutch, 1 out. Fred at 250 with 2 RBIs, 5 for 20. Jamie says, hidden engine has never been a factor for me with the games. Really, any PC game, you have to trust the digital dice it generates anyway. How you doing, Silent Shadows 1? Todd B says, I had Doug Flynn go 4 for 4 in the 78 Mets opener. Yeah, but it was against the Expos. Come on. Hutchinson squares. The bunt is down. Evans throws to third, and they got him. So it goes 2-5 on the card. Fielder's choice for Don Callaway, who singled. He's 1 for 1 and scored in the first. Masterson, 9 batters deep, an inning and 2/3, 26 pitches, 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, no walk and a strikeout. Callaway up the middle. Masterson stabs it over to first, and that will retire the side. Tigers get another run on 2 hits and no errors. We go to the third, 2-0 Detroit. So here's Al Evans. Doesn't he kind of look like Opie? There's a bit of Ron Howard in that face. Wow, Johnny LeMaster homered? I'd have fainted at that. Yeah, that was fun. I think we'll probably will actually do a show on that. That was more based on what the Senators were doing. How people like their replays and how much variance they're willing to take. Evans at 353, a homer and 15 RBI. Draws a walk. Johnny La Disaster. Man. Just looking at that picture would make you wish that your prom date would go away. Here's Masterson, 1 for 21 with 2 RBI on the year. Kellen Campbell play for the bunt. It's down. Robinson throws to Callaway covering the bag at first, 1 out. Pat Rocket is right up there on that list of disasters at short, too. Here's Gil Cone. He's 0 for 1. Hutchinson through the first 9, 37 pitches, 2 1/3 innings and a hit. And he's walked 2. Hey, Johnny topped the scales at least 145 on a good day. Big Clue says, I agree on the engine, but only after I trust the company's accuracy. I don't need to see the engine then. Pitch to Cone. Fly ball right center field. Growth will make the catch. Evans will tag the throw to third. Not in time. So Evans moves to third. Here's Sherry Robertson. He's 0 for 1. 2-0 Tigers. Top the third. 2 out. On a beautiful day in Detroit. Ball 4. So Robertson draws a 3-1 curve upstairs. And that'll bring up Bud Stewart. For all you do, this Bud's for you. He's 0 for 1. Up the middle, a base hit. Evans will score. Stewart's digging for 2. He's in there with his 8th double of the year. So Robertson on third. Stewart on second for Clyde Vollmer, who singled his first time up. Wish there was a neutral sim testing outfit out there that could run, say, 10,000 sims of a given season as played for each PC sim and then compare, contrast the accuracy. Well, if we ever get an hour on one of those Cray supercomputers, I suppose we could. And Todd B says, Fred Hutchinson looks like Billy Lugosi's brother. Hey, Elvis is in the building. How you doing, Matt? So the tying run on third for the Sens. And the go-ahead run is Stewart. Pitch to Vollmer. Got him! He swung on and tipped it in the glove of Aaron Robinson, and that will retire the side. But Washington gets on the board with a run, a hit, and no errors. Bottom 3, 2-1 Tigers. I'd imagine so. And I think because, Jamie says, I bet if we ran them all 10,000 times, we'd find out that we're all pretty much the same. Math is math. Some mousetraps just fit people's eyes better than others. Paul Campbell is 0 for 1. Nice big old smile on his face, too. In the center field, Vollmer will make the catch, 1 out. Here's Callie, walked his first time up. Two to 1 Tigers. Bottom of the third. The Sens in first place by a game over the Yankees. Base hit left side. Cohen will pick it up. Nope. And again, it is Briggs in 1949. How many ways can you get to the same equation? The world may never know. I think it's 3. That's what the owl who told me who licked the Tootsie Roll Pop. Here's Wirtz. 1 for 1. He singled and drove in a run. Little number down to Robinson. Takes it to the bag himself for the out. And Kell moves to second. Brings up Hoot-Evers. He's 0 for 1. Jamie says, I have to find the article. But somewhere they did some crazy replay where they replayed the entire history of baseball a number of times to see how likely and who would have big hit streaks. Is that one that you published in Sports Game Journal, or was that someplace else? Pitch to Evers is a fly ball to center. Vollmer will make the catch, and that will retire the side. No runs. The Tigers get a hit and leave a runner on. We go to the fourth. 2-1 Detroit. So Robinson, Kozar, and Dente here in the fourth. Eddie is 0 for 1. Ground ball to Lippman. Comes in on the grass. Bang, banger to first, and Robinson beat it out. So the tall grass there leads to a hit. That's a third for the Sens. Someplace else. That's right. And we kind of talked about that in the podcast the other day. That what some don't understand is that the real life itself is just one variant of a much larger number of possible outcomes. And so that article wasn't in Sports Game Journal. And how many multiple universes did the Nats win the 19 World Series? Only matters in this one, buddy boy. Only matters in this one. And we can talk about the Red Sox 119 straight World Championships sometime else. Al Kozar walked his first time up. Into left field. That ball is well struck. Evers will turn and watch it go. And so the Senators take a 3-2 lead on the homer from Kozar as second of the year. And you're wondering how they're doing it? Well, that's how they're doing it. Just timely hitting. So 3-2 Washington. Nobody out. Top the fourth. Goodwill Hunting could figure it out. A beautiful mind, too. That was the Alan Turing story. Just get a couple of those bombs going, you could figure it out. Correct, but that does not mean that the win-loss outcome is the best measuring stick as a baseline for Sims. Yep, you know, once you put pen to paper or hit action, it's a whole different orchestra. Frank Howard hit one off the roof at Tiger Stadium in the late 60s, Elvis says. Pitch to Dente. Right back up the middle. Hutch to first for the out. One out for Al Evans. Al walked and scored. Yeah. It is a good topic with the Senators being 32-19. Popped up. Robinson takes off the mask. Makes the catch against the screen. 2 out. Speaking of standings, they are a game and a half above the New York Yankees. And are 17-13 on the road. And are now, get this, the only team of the 16 in Major League Baseball to have a winning record away from home. The Yankees have fallen to 13-16 on the road. Cleveland 4.5, Tigers 6, A's 7.5. The Red Sox are 8.5. In the National League, Brooklyn has won 4 straight and are now 1 game ahead of St. Louis and Philadelphia. The Giants are 2.5 and the Braves are 4.5. I think it depends on what their final record is. You can start off like gangbusters. The Senators still have around 103 games to go, too. Masterson sacked his first time up. Got him. An 0-2 on the inside corner on the changeup, and that will retire the side. But the Sens get the 2-run homer from Kozar. 2 hits, no errors. Bottom 4, 3-2 Washington. I kind of go with, Big Clue is talking about individual performances and how accurate a sim is. I kind of go with league totals. I think if you get the macro right, the rest of it will just kind of fall in line. Aaron Robinson, Johnny Groth, and Johnny Lippin to face Masterson here in the bottom of the inning. Robinson singled. 1 for 1 and scored. The macro is the sum of the micro. Or vice versa. It's all equal. And it's ball 4 to Robinson. The 3-1 was high and away. Yeah, Jamie, a league totals is a much bigger sample. A single replay on a single player is just a small slice of cake. Cake. Here's Johnny Groth. Johnny doubled his first time up and scored, or drove in a run, rather. 1 for 1. And there's a line drive to center. Vollmer is there, 1 out. If Mario Mendoza bats 330 and 100, and George Burt's a 200 hitter with no power, the macro, yeah, that would be. I think, isn't that why the bell curve is at 95%? If Mario Mendoza goes 330 and 100, we're giving out cases of Maldito, aren't we? Lippin struck out his first time up. I don't know of any universe George Hendrick is only given 50%. Pitch to Lippin is a ground ball to Dente, might be 2. Kozar for 1, over to first. They should have him. And that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. After 4 on this Thursday afternoon in Detroit, 3-2 Washington. Mendoza only bats against 300 against Dodgers pitchers. Gil Cohen is 0 for 2. Fred Hutchinson threw 18 batters, 62 pitches, 4 innings, 4 hits, the home run to Kozar. He has walked 3 and struck out 2. And that was somehow ball 4. 3-0 off the plate. And Hutchinson has now walked 4 in the afternoon. Sherry Robertson is 0 for 1 with a walk. Ground ball to Callaway. Flips it to Lippin for 1, and that's it. There's no throw to first. Got it on the backhand to get the force. 1 out for Bud Stewart. Bud 1 for 2. He is doubled and driven in a run. His 24th of the year. Ground ball to Hutchinson. Callaway for 1. Snap throw to Campbell, and that will be 2. So no runs, no hits, nobody left on. And so halfway home on a Thursday afternoon here, it's Washington 3, the Tigers 2. If you join us late, here's how we got here. Vic Wirtz singled home Don Callaway in the top of the first to make it, or bottom of the first rather, to make it 1-0 Detroit. They added to it in the second. Johnny Groth with a double, now has an 11-game hitting streak. He doubled home Aaron Robinson to make it 2-0 Detroit. Then in the third, Bud Stewart doubled home Al Evans to make it 2-1, and then Al Kozar with a 2-run shot to left to make it 3-2 Washington. So Masterson, a 5-hitter through 4, 2 runs, both earned. And Hutchinson, a 4-hitter through 5, giving up 3 runs. And we've had 6 walks in the game. Todd B. actually saw a certified signed Mario Mendoza card. Well, I'll set you back a couple bucks. Mendoza's no longer with us, right? And Jamie says in some ways the game would be unrealistic if it didn't allow the crazy to happen. At least a 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 10,000 time, depending on the event. And Brad says, especially if that show was in Pittsburgh. Hutchinson is 0 for 1 with a... I was about to say strikeout, but I was looking at the wrong column. There's a ground ball to short. Dente over to first for the out. In Elvis's 61 replay, we have the league pretty close to actual totals, but we do have those batting and pitching quirks. You'll find them all the time. Dale Long, a 247 hitter, hitting just a $175. He is hitting home runs, however. Ellie Howard's hitting 400, and we are approaching July. It'll happen. I mean, the law of averages is just that. Here's Callaway. Callaway 1 for 2 with a run scored. 18 batters deep for Masterson, 60 pitches, 4 1/3 innings. 5 hits, no homers. He's walked 2 and struck out 1. Right back to Masterson, over to Robinson for the out. So 2 out for Paul Campbell, who's 0 for 2. Got him! A late called strike 3 on an 86-mile-an-hour fastball. Campbell just kind of stands there like a house on the side of the road. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the 6th. It is 3-2 Washington. How did Masterson go past his innings with as-played lineups? Well, if you pitch better, you're going to pitch in more innings. He also, I think, got a start because not every game in 49 has the as-played lineups. So I think there might have been one that he might have gotten a start where he shouldn't. Definitely got a start where he shouldn't have. But this is his last appearance for the Sens. Be Vollmer, Robinson, and Kozar. Vollmer 1 for 2. He is singled and struck out. Yep, you can make copies of folders if you have Action PC, so you can do that on your own. He's also pitched very well, Masterson. In the left field, Evers, 1 out. And remember, I don't have any usage penalties on. I don't believe in that. Eddie Robinson, 1 for 2 with a run scored. And that's the second bad Bat Masterson joke in the stream. Too bad he couldn't hit. Manny Maris, by the way, in Elvis's replay, 30 and 29 homers respectively with the game at LA's Wrigley Field. Those numbers should improve after that June 28th game. That's where they filmed Home Run Derby. Into right field, Wirtz has it for the out, 2 away. Here's Kozar, Al with a 2-run shot in the 4th. 1 for 1. Walked and scored. It was, I believe you're right, it was Mark Scott. I was in college, I believe my freshman or sophomore year, when ESPN reran that entire series. Like 4:30, 5 o'clock every weeknight. That was so much fun. Pitch to Kozar is a ground ball up the middle. Lippin behind the bag, over to first, and that is an out. So, no runs, no hits, no errors. Bottom 6 now, 3-2 Senators. So here's Kell, Wirtz, and Evers. Kell singled and walked. He's 1 for 1. There's a ground ball to Kozar, over to Robinson, 1 out. About to say, I thought he had died young. Elvis remembers before reruns that they actually played it. Yep. So, I don't know which one of Masterson's starts he didn't get. But when you're out there throwing, only allowing 2 to 4 hits every 9 innings, you're going to get your innings pitched. Wirtz 1 for 2 is singled and driven in a run. Standard answer to all of Scott's questions was, I'm sure that was all scripted too. Seems that way. Pitch to Wirtz is a ground ball to Masterson. Back to Robinson for the out. So, Mickey, how often do you cork your bat? It seems that way. Here's Hoot Evers. He's 0 for 2. To short. Dente deep in the hole. Over to first. They got him. And so that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 6, 3-2 Washington. Dente, Evans, and Masterson for the Sens coming up. Oh, I think I've told this story before, as Brad says. I don't know how these athletes do it, being asked the dumbest questions by reporters at the most inopportune times. I had the chance to talk to Craig Kimbrell before the 2013 World Baseball Classic. And, of course, you know, they're talking to me. Don't ask him about this, that, and the other. I mean, there was nothing. It was all a promotion for Team USA and the WBC. There had nothing to do with what are you going to do in free agency and do you hit your wife and all that sort of BS. We did it, the interview over the phone. I was here, actually where I am right now. And he was at with his agent and a representative from Major League Baseball, I believe in his agent's office in New York City. And Kimbrell just gave pat answer after pat answer after. I mean, I could have written the damn interview without talking to him. And Ricky, who's good as a questioner, I've seen some weird ones asked, but you have to try to make the athlete think with the question. They know how to answer the easy ones. I just tried to put the ball pat where they weren't. Dente 0 for 2, grounded into a double play. There's a ground ball left side. That's because you could write the interview questions without talking to the reporter. That's true. Of all the people I interviewed, the one that gave me the most pat boilerplate answers was Tim Kirkshin. Remember that, Ricky? I mean, every time that we would interview somebody for ESPN, Buster Olney and I had some great conversations. Don't keep Buster more than 15 minutes. Ted Williams was going to be on Home Run Derby, but a big fishing trip got in the way. Could you imagine the editing that they would have had if Ted had been on that show? What Elvis remembers about that show, if you took a strike, it was an out. I can't stand these players today during Home Run Derby. Yeah. Olney from Randolph, Vermont. That's one of the things that we talked about. Al Evans is 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. There's a base hit into right field. Evans digging for 2. The throw in is not in time, and that's a double. So the Senators looking for some insurance runs. Ricky interviewed Aaron Boone. Eduardo Perez, I think, is one of the smartest people I've ever talked to. Publicist set up that interview during the middle of a funeral. So I'm trying to call and I can't figure out why. And so him and his dad are at the funeral for the Spanish play-by-play voice of the Marlins. Oh, I think Eduardo would make a tremendous manager. I'm surprised Kapler wasn't that good of a manager. He was extremely intelligent. I interviewed him from another show. Got a swing with Masterson. Well, I'm pitching anyway. Pitch to Walt is a bunt. They're going to throw home. It's a squeeze play. The throw to the play. Dente is safe. They pull off the squeeze play. Well, your mommy's all right and your daddy's all right. And mama's got her squeeze play at night. And the Washington Senators go in and out to take a 4-2 lead. Kapler's... Yeah, Ricky, I agree. He should have gotten the Met job when Beltran was hired. Kapler's process was better than his results. Farhan Zaidi was convinced that Kapler had learned from his mistakes, unlike a Mickey Callaway. So runners on the corners, Evans and Masterson, an actual honest-to-God squeeze play. If Clinton Parks would watch, he'd pass out. The computer called a squeeze. Cone is 0 for 2 with a walk. Hutchinson threw 27 batters. 93 pitches, 6+ innings. 6 hits, a homer. He walked 4 and struck out 2. Mike Sorbaugh, an Indians coach, deserves an MLB job, Brad says. Check out his minor league record. It's incredible. To answer, I think this was Todd B. or who would I interview? If I could have an hour with Vin Scully, that would be who I would interview. As far as a player, I mean, Kari Yastrzemski hasn't been interviewed in about 18,000 years. Ted Williams, after a couple of drinks. Lou Krause. Never throw home with the infield back, always safe. I tried the other day with halfway setting and the runner was still safe. Tappers to the pitcher, I don't throw home either. Yeah, you just got to try for it. I mean, sometimes you just go with the logic. I only had a 1% chance of making it, but you never make the shot. You can't make the shot you never take. There. Now try my deodorant. Runners on the corners. Nobody out. 4-2. Pitch to Cone. Got him! Swung on and missed. A 1-2 fastball at 86. So here's Sherry Robertson. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. I know that Luke Krause died, along with Angel Manuel. Oh, that one. Oh, Mr. Limbaugh. You can turn the ball over with a shot you shouldn't take. So Evans on third, Masterson on first, 1 out. Pitch to Robertson. There's a ground ball to Callaway. Callaway, they'll try for 2 here. Lippin for 1. Over to Campbell. Robertson's gonna beat it out. Yes, he does. It's 5-2 Washington. And kind of like that Duran Duran song, it's all come undone here for the Tigers in the 7th. Elvis would have loved to have lunch with Bart Starr and Jimmy Taylor. Jerry Kramer. I read that book as a kid. Distant Replay. And I think it's criminal that Taylor had to say that Kramer didn't get in the Hall of Fame until recently. Those stories about Lombardi and those Packard teams must have been something. Be worth it to pick up the tab with Lunch with George Hendrick. Pete Rose, yeah. Ty Cobb. I mean, Jackie Robinson would be a pretty pat answer as well. Pitch to Stewart, 1 for 3 with a double as a base hit in the left field. Robertson goes to third. There's Vollmer. Clyde 1 for 3. Singled and struck out. But I suppose, though, Scully, Gammons, but those are kind of, heroic people for me, so. Some great clips of Mickey Mantle talking in an interview we did before he passed away. And one of them, the clips I saw, was Denny McClain grooving one at the end of the 68 season for Mantle's last homer here at Tiger Stadium. Pitch to Vollmer. Popped up into that no man's land, but Groth will get it. And that will retire to the side. Stretch time, 5-2. Rose would sign the visa statement and sell it to me for $99. That's pretty funny. Connie Mack would be a good one. I mean, someone who had seen it all. Costas? I would do pre-strike Costas for sure. Post-strike Costas is too bitter for me. Saw Mickey Mantle at Tiger Stadium in the mid-'60s. He sat out in the second game of a doubleheader, and we could look in the first base dugout, and Mickey was digging for gold the entire game. Booger nuggets. Joe Torre. I think one of the most underappreciated players and people in baseball throughout its history. Remember, he got the Braves to the playoffs and nearly took the Cardinals to the World Series. Whitey Herzog's another good choice. Sandy Koufax. He doesn't talk a lot. Robinson, 1 for 1. A single and a walk. Into center field. Vollmer has it for the out. And that's one away for Johnny Groth. 1 for 2. A double and his 35th RBI. It's an interesting question. Dente on the grass. Bang banger. No, sir. So that's a 6th hit for the Tigers. Here's Lippin. Johnny 0 for 2 with a strikeout and grounded into a double play. Elvis would like to talk to legends, one of the fastest pitchers ever. Steve Dalkowski, A Very Sad Life. Todd B. would fit right in with John Rockert and Albert Bell. Pitch to Lippin. There's a line drive to left. Cone is there. 2 out for the pitcher Hutchinson. Well, I suppose it's time to sing Who Can Hit a Righty. Who can hit a righty? Pat Mullen, the left fielder, at 212, 2 homers, 2 triples, and 6 RBI. When the last year, of course, at the originally renovated Yankee Stadium, it is Sammy Davis Jr. You've never heard me sing that before? The Fox gang had on Whitey Ford for part of the All-Star game, and Whitey told some stories I had never heard before. Bell is fairly reclusive? Yeah, I would imagine so. Mel Hall, Lenny Dykstra. I wouldn't want to talk to Dykstra. Pitch to Mullen, ball 4. Now, if there were alcoholic beverages involved, I would love to get plowed with Keith Hernandez, wouldn't you? I mean, Keith's going to have some stories. Here's Callaway. Don is 1 for 3. Tying run, by the way, at the plate. Singled and scored. Masterson first 27 and 6 2/3 innings. 90 pitches, 6 hits. He's walked 3 and struck out 2. 2 out. 5-2 Senators. Up the middle, Kozar flips it to first, and that will retire the side. So the Tigers, no run and hit to leave 2 on. We go to the 8th, 5-2 Sens. And so who are we going with? Oh, look at that. Detroit pen is terrible. Just terrible. So Dizzy Trout, 34 years old, fastball pitcher, 82, and a ground ball pitcher. Making his 16th appearance of the year. Pitched 2 days ago against the Yankees. 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, and that's it. 22 innings, 34 hits, 16 runs, all earned. He's not allowed a home run. He has walked 7 and struck out 3. And that Bugs Bunny fastball tops out at 82. So Robinson, the lefty, 1 for 3. He has singled and scored. Try beating the 86 Mets. Good luck. Pitch to Robinson. There's a fly ball, left center field. Growth, 1 out. That might knock over a Milk in 82. Thanks, Brad. Brad says, I thought about 75 to early 80s, but that would be too depressing. You must have done stuff with the Reds. Of course, NL champs in 70, NL West champs in 72, and World champs 75 and 76. Those are some teams that the Red Sox that should have won at least 1 championship. Alcozar is 1 for 2 with a homer. Ground ball to short. Lippin backhands it over to first for the out, 2 away for Sam Dente. Sam, 1 for 3. He has singled, grounded into a double play, and scored. Phillies are interesting from that era, too, 75 to 83. Elvis says a couple years ago, the Tigers had Jack Morris, Kirk Gibson, Dan Petrie. Petrie's a heck of an announcer, by the way. And Greg Monroe, who I don't remember. All former players do the game, and all the stories they told were priceless. I love those former player games. Is that when Mario and Rod were fighting? They did those games 4 or 5 times during the season. Yep. It's better than listening to Rod and Mario snarl at each other. Sam is 1 for 3. He has grounded into a double play, singled, and scored. The year after they fired Mario and Rod. A well-deserved canning. My 78 Sox won their opener against Joe Charbonneau's Indians. Yay! Pitch to Dente is popped up left side. Kell has it. We go to the bottom of the 8th. No runs, no hits, no errors. It's the Senators 5, the Tigers 2. So Campbell, Kell, and Wirtz, whatever is in the hole. Campbell is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Super Joe Charbonneau. Masterson has been masterful. He's looking to go 7-1. Up the middle, but Vollmer is there. One out. Here's Kell. George is 1 for 2. He's hitting .350. Here's walk. Oh, my goodness gracious. Jamie says, for 1 year, the Orioles had Jim Palmer and Brooks Robinson do games on TV. You got a game of great stories. I watched a clip a couple nights ago from the '84 season. And it's Al Michaels doing Monday Night Baseball. And his colored people are Brooks, Earl Weaver with the perm and Jim Palmer. And the clip is Jim Palmer talking about the knuckleball and trying to extend his career. And Weaver just giving him a ration of dog poop about it. From 56 to 81, the Reds averaged 91 wins per year. That is a hell of a stat indeed. Yeah, Weaver just gave no poops. Pitch to Kell. Ball 4. Wirtz 1 for 3. He is singled and driven in a run. There's also a great clip of him getting thrown out of the '69 World Series. He's arguing balls and strikes with Shag Crawford. And Crawford, I think it's Weaver that tells Crawford to shut his GD mouth up. And that was it. He got tossed. The Reds made the World Series in '61 and '70. So they won 4 pennants in that time. Yeah, 91. And he didn't throw 91 at 45 and didn't try the knuckler then. And Weaver, of course, you've all seen the clip of Weaver and is it Tim McClelland, the first base umpire, as Eddie Murray tried to intervene. And McClellan giving Earl all sorts of grief about never winning more than 1 World Series. Pitch to Wirtz is 1 for 3. Ground ball to Dente. They'll get only maybe none. Great English. No, they got Wirtz on a bang-banger. Only maybe 1. There you go. So Dente had to hurry to get it out of his glove, and there's 2 out. You're going to be a Hall of Famer? Me? No. That brings Earl Weaver. Yeah, it was Don Stenhouse was full pack. He said, I bring this guy in and go through a full pack of Chesterfields, as a matter of fact. But yeah, it was Don Stenhouse. Oh, that's what. Oh, you're going to be a. Oh, that's right. 5 times 100 wins and 1 World Series championship. Pitch to Hoot Evers, who's 0 for 3. Ground ball to third. Robertson across the way, and that will retire the side. Don Campbell. We go to the 9th. No runs, no hits, and no errors. It is still 5-2 Washington. Yep, Bobby Cox comes to mind. I would take Weaver over Cox, though. Evans, Masterson, maybe, and Cone to face Dizzy Trout. Evans 1 for 2, a double. He has scored twice and walked. Cox got thrown out of a full season, didn't he? 106, or the equivalent, 162. Pitch to Evans is a base hit left center field. Evers will pick it up. And so Washington going back for more. Walt Masterson. We played for the bunt. Had himself a suicide squeeze. That was Leo the Lip. 161 dimes. That's a lot of games to be thrown out of. Earl got thrown out of both ends of a doubleheader at Yankee Stadium. I remember reading that. Masterson squares. Trout picks it up. Throws to second for 1. Over to first. It's going to be 2. They got it. Unbelievable. So 1-6-3. Trout picked it up by the plate, flew it over to Lippin, who was standing on the bag, and Campbell had time to move back over to first for the second. Oh, doctor. So brings up Cone, who's 0 for 3. He has walked and struck out. No, only Bobby Knight would throw a chair. Bobby Knight was an acquired taste, kind of like Moxie. Yep, there's a little red barber in there. Cone, ground ball, left side. Lorraine Day would have been a much better lunch date, Brad. Here's Sherry Robinson. It's after that single. He's 0 for 3 with an RBI and a walk. Yeah, Leo had some stories. I didn't realize that he and Ernie Banks didn't get along. I wouldn't be talking to Mrs. DeRocher about baseball. Weaver was ahead of his time. There's a great video. Actually, it's the one I sent you, Brad, wasn't it? About Weaver being sabermetric before sabermetrics? Or Moneyball. Yep. Great video. Pitch to Robertson is a fly ball to right. Wirtz going back, but he'll flag it down, and that will retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors. Which Brad knew because he read Weaver's books 30 years ago. Go to the bottom of the 9th inning here. Tigers trying to pull this one out of the fire. 5-2 Senators. So Robinson, Groth, Lippin, and a pinch hitter, if we should get that far, to face Walt Masterson, whose bags are packed for Boston. Robinson is 1 for 2. He has walked and scored and singled. Into right field, Stewart, 1 out. Groth is 2 for 3. He has singled, doubled, and driven in a run. Jamie says there's a good article about Weaver's work on Earl Weaver baseball. He would hold all-day classes on the strategy to the game designers. Nope, this would have been a Saturday, June 11th, 1949. But Masterson is being traded after this game. Yep. Weaver drove home, to me, the importance of baseball's clock. 27 outs. Pitch to Groth is 2 for 3. Popped up. Evans to the screen. Takes off the mask, and that's a souvenir. When you measure the game in outs, you look at strategy very differently. And I never thought about it that way, but it's absolutely true. Count is full to Groth. A single, doubled, and driven in his 35th run. Into left field. Cone going back. Goodbye. So it's 5-3 as Groth hits a solo shot down the line and left. His 8th of the year. And all Cone could do is turn and watch it go. He ran out of real estate. So 1 out for Lippin, who's 0 for 3. He has grounded into a double play and struck out. Yes, some growth for the Tigers' run column for sure. There's a fly ball to left. That'll stay in the yard. Cohen, 2 out. And Dizzy will not bat. All right, one more time today. Who can hit a righty? We'll play the OBS game and go with Dick Wakefield. Dick has a better chance of getting a walk than a base hit. There's growth. Start with the puns now with 2 outs in the 9th, okay? Wakefield at 186, 2 homers, 4 RBI, and still owes Ted Williams some money. Pitch from Masterson. Struck him out. The Senators win the ball game. And so how are they 33-19? You just saw how they were 33-19. The only team to have a winning record on the road has done just that. And Walt Masterson goes to 7-1. 9 innings, 7 hits. He is your player of the game. 3 runs all earned. He gave up the home run to Groth. He walked 4 and struck out 3 through 125 pitches. Hutchinson struggled through his 7 hits. 5 runs all earned. The home run to Kozar. He walked 4 and struck out 3. And you got to have heart. Miles and miles and miles of hard. 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Sens. See you later. We're back with you Monday night for hockey at 8 Eastern. Detroit, 3 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. The rest of the day in baseball for you. On this 11th day of June, the Yankees beat the Indians 6-5. Allie Reynolds goes to 5-3. Al Benton goes to 3-3. Dale Mitchell 3 for 5, 2 RBI, and a double. The Phillies in 12 down the Cardinals 1-0. Hank Bowery with 10 shutout innings. He only allows 4 hits. Reeder takes the loss. One of the Rices went 1 for 1 with a double. Giants beat the Pirates 9-2. Monty Kennedy goes to 7-1. Nelson Riddle falls to 1-3. Ralph Kiner hits 2 homers. Both of the runs for the Pirates, 2 solo shots. He drives in 2, now has 16. The Dodgers behind Don Newcomb beat the Reds 12-3. Newcomb goes to 4-2. Raffensperger goes to 3-8. Carl Furillo is 13th of the year, 3